over there. They're all around us. It's 2:30, we can start.
The others will join as they get here.
Let's start by introducing our...
My phone vibrated and made noise. Whoa.
I'm gonna sit on it.
Let me stop being absurd. I'm getting bad looks. I don't know.
I try to do that thing where you do that, but I just broke myself down.
You're the one.
Let's introduce ourselves, starting with the beautiful lady.
Well,
my
name is Cindy Rogers. I am Yozora Haganai in the second season of May.
I guess. It was good. It was good. I'm Clifford Chapin, and I voiced Kaito Yashio in Robotics Notes, and Kensu Buki and Good Luck Girl, and that's about the most of it for right now.
For right now, but he's a rising star. Get his autograph on his cheek.
Just like him.
No, that's awesome. You should be like,
More voice actors.
more voice actors.
Y'all are potty break.
We had to pee. Sorry.
Girls go to the bathroom in pairs.
We're introducing ourselves. My name's Chuck Huber. I started off in the role of Garlic Jr. in Android 17 and Dragon Ball Z, and then I did Yu Yu Hakusho, and then now most recently I do Stein in Soul Eater. Kululu and Sergeant Frog, Hero in Shin-Chan, Ash in Black Butler, Austria in Natalia, and a lot of other ones. I've been doing this for 15 years. Since I was 3.
Okay, my name is Laura Woodhull, and I'm going to be having a fan moment sitting next to him. Sorry, because I started off with Dragon Ball Z and you last show. So.
Oh my God!
No, I started off as Claire Princess Jellyfish.
I wrote that show. Yeah, that's a great show. Because I wrote it. Because I wrote it.
Yeah, and most recently, Young People's Children.
Yes.
On the last. Well, they always save the best for last.
That's right.
Okay, well, my name is Kristen McGuire, and I'm primarily a comic book artist, and then I kind of fell into voice acting, and they haven't stopped me from coming, so I just keep going back. The only thing I've been in that I can actually talk about is the new Evangelion movie. Yay! That's in the movie, Mom! Everything else hasn't been released. That's the big secret. And I've been doing this for a whopping 6 months.
Wow.
Just a little baby. I'm just a little baby. I'm just sorry.
So what do we do now? Now you guys ask us questions.
And if you don't,
And we ignore them. No, but seriously, ask questions.
Any questions? Okay, that was a great panel. Thank you, guys. Oh, wait, there's a question.
Mic drop.
Yes, you with your hand up.
Well, getting to like voice actors, it's also beneficial to stuff like online education.
You have to yell. We can't hear you.
I'm gonna, here, I got this. Go ahead. Hold it, you don't get to hold it.
So, for voice acting, is it also beneficial to have, like, you know, do stuff, like, online, as long as it's, like, original stuff and not, like, fan-dub stuff?
We hate fandubs.
What?
We hate
I
fandubs.
love fandom.
No.
I was they're awesome. Team 4-Star, yeah, those guys got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That stuff's legit. Bouncing off an Attack on Titan. What do you guys think of having an online presence in fan dubbing and working with stuff?
I mean, like, original stuff.
Original stuff.
Like, original stuff that counts.
Okay, I actually started by doing indie voiceover work and stuff that I got through voiceover online. And then I got to a point that I was like, I'm okay at this. I book enough that I'm like, I kind of want to pursue this professionally. So I mean, that is good for like, you get experience and you get used to like auditioning and deadlines and stuff like that. I mean, I can't speak to how much the actual resume really works because like a lot of this industry is just who you know, right? So, I mean, yeah, hi, Kelly, welcome.
Here's $1 million.
You will voice all the characters now. But, I mean, it's good to have for experience, for sure. I mean, I hope that answers your question.
I'd say the same thing. Pretty much any experience is good experience. Just and if you do online stuff, YouTube, you get enough followers, you're gonna get money. So especially if you're doing original work,
Yeah, like ad revenue and stuff like that.
so that makes money. When you have money, come find me.
One thing I feel like with the fandom, okay, obviously you can't put this on a resume, but it's still giving you a way to build those voices. A lot of us, I know at least I do, I start building character voices by mimicking anybody that's around us. So like, if I wanted to mimic you, I could, and then I might change it up a little bit. So even if you can't put it on a resume, it's still something to build and teach you how the industry works.
I'm a big fan of failure. Failure is my favorite. Like fear of failure stopping you from anything is ridiculous. Because in order to succeed, you have to fail, and any opportunity you have to fail, I say go fail quickly. Yeah, it's like then you're like, all right, I failed. Now I can be on the side of it.
You learn more from failing than you will from succeeding. Speaking from personal experience, I fell a lot. Okay, I'm not supposed to touch it, right?
No, can't touch it.
How'd you like the shrubs? Okay. I think we're laughing.
No, I just choked on my snot.
I mean, like, how many of us in particular have done auditions and haven't booked them? That's failure.
I booked every audition I go on.
And that's why we hate Chuck.
No, that's why we love Chuck.
I just failed today. I feel I failed if I haven't failed anything. Which means I win.
My take on doing online stuff, I've auditioned for online stuff. If it's usually because it's paid and I like money. Money's awesome. But I would say don't limit it to online because there are a lot of things you can do outside of online to improve your voice acting. I take improv classes because it's fun and it also helps. So, read out loud. Reading out loud is a good way to do it too. So I'm told, like I said, I've only been in this business for 6 months, so I'm not a pro.
I'm gonna start feeding you false information.
Oh yeah,
Milk and peanut butter before a session. Good idea.
I know that.
We should totally do every session drunk.
That would be amazing.
Adjust your own microphone
Yeah,
and go
love
in.
that.
That really shows them how professional you are.
This is a little creepy, but you can honestly find more voice support on Craigslist. Be careful. Be careful. Craigslist is a bad place sometimes. But don't limit yourself to anime. There's a whole lot more out there. Like I've done Craigslist work for like training videos and like wedding videos. Like
Back in the 50s, this is my birthday.
and I'm their young voice, and I talk. So there is other things outside of young voice.
Holy crap, how do they sound now?
The anime is fun, and it's been the funnest thing I've ever done, but also, don't be afraid to look elsewhere. You're not going to be like, oh, you did stuff that's not anime. Yeah, well, then you're just less than us. It's none of that. It's like, what, you made money, you made work, go for it.
Yeah.
Let's go with this question here.
Don't touch it. Fine, won't touch it. I'm just taking an introductory theater class right now. and I'm just wondering, I've considered auditioning for Funimation at some point, but I'm just wondering, where do I start from here? Because I'm just doing that class right now at the moment.
How did you get... what did I do? Mic technique. I should learn it. How did you guys get your first audition at Funimation?
I'll start. Okay. I went to their website and they were like, hey, if you're interested in being a voice actor, click on this link. And I clicked on the link and it said, submit this information in an email. And so I was like, okay, I'll submit this information in an email. And my email was really laid back. It was like, I was Tara in the Wizard of Oz, so I can bark like a dog if you need a dog. And I'd been on the Nerd Show. I co-hosted the Nerd Show. They put up with me pretty well. And so I just did those files. I was like, and this is what my voice sounds like, and hopefully I'll hear back from you. Have a great day. And I was like, oh, that's bad. And like 6 months later, they emailed me and asked me to come in for an open audition, and then I researched everything I could find on open auditioning, so I wouldn't look like a screw up. Then I went in, and I didn't screw it up. Yay!
I did the same thing. To get into Funimation, I happened to just see uber fangirling, like, oh my god, Top Peppercorn, oh my god, Death Note, oh my god, everything. And so I was like on there, and I was like, what is this? I can email audition. Yeah, so I sent them my headshot, even though it wasn't needed. I'm like, I know, here's my headshot just in case.
I look beautiful behind the mic.
Yeah, thanks for radio. But, so I sent them what they asked for. But previously, I had just gotten my musical theater degree at Tyler Junior College, and I did theater high school. So since you said you're just starting introductory theater class, just basically, one, make friends, because you don't know who knows. I used to work in a movie company, and the guy working alongside me was the producer for Barney back when I was a kid. He worked with Demi Lovato. And if I was rude to him, he never would have given me tips and stuff. So you don't know who you're working with. So make friends, go to more classes. You can never know too much. And just keep trying. You're gonna audition for a lot more than you get. So
Any experience required, or is it just a max stuff and game?
It's recommended.
yeah, some people like Chuck are just like, I'm born talented. Me, I could not sing to save my life when I first started singing. I took voice lessons, which is a good recommendation because that controls your voice. You want to get cast for a part and be like, okay, how did I get that voice? Crap, they hired me and I can't achieve that voice again. So learning to control it helps. So voice acting, use voiceover. Dang, I can't speak. Voice lessons can help.
For a living.
I get
voice actor.
I know. Sorry, I could talk for ages. I'm gonna let you go now.
All right. I'm going to talk while they talk. Okay, so like I said before, I started off doing online stuff and getting experience and getting used to it. I then did one of Bang Zoom's Adventures in Voice Acting workshops with Tony Oliver. At the end of that workshop, Tony Oliver was like, you need to have a demo reel. And I was like, okay, cool. I need to have a demo reel. So then I got a demo reel, and which was expensive. And then I had an encounter with Chris Sabat, who owns and
That's a voice actor right here. Jeremy Inman, everyone. Give him a round of applause. He's got a panel in a half hour, so he's signing in 10 minutes.
In the library.
In the library. But don't leave. It's not worth it.
Chris Sabat.
So Chris Sabat, and I gave him my demo. He kind of didn't want to talk to me. We're going on too. So he's like, email your demo reel, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I'm never gonna hear from him. That sucks. And then that night, I got an email from him that was like, I'm so sorry that I ignored you. I'm gonna call you in for something. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got called in for Okratron, and then from him, he recommended me to Joel McDonald, who's one of the Funimation directors.
Joel, right.
I love it.
And Joel called me in. There was an audition for Good Luck Girl, Bimba Gamiga, and then a week later I was cast as Kid Super King. And that's the story. That was it. That was my first work with Funimation.
I had a friend named
auditioning for anime over in this bank.
Okay, do you have to like open an account? Do you just like go in and do voices?
And he's like, no, it's like an office next to the bank.
I was like, okay, and I walked in and it was Chris Abbott. He walked out,
You know, hey, I'm here, I do this audition.
and that was back when he was a troll, apparently. And then I got the role of Garlic Jr. and I've been doing it ever since. I'm gonna put you into the dead zone.
Nice.
You're supposed to drop the mic.
That bitch kicked my ass.
I would kick his ass too. I'm an RTV actor. Yeah, okay, so I started because Chris Abbott came to my middle school in Peruta.
Okay, the common link is Savage.
Yes.
Okay, so we got that established.
That was the initial, and then I was like, this is awesome. You mentioned choir. I was a choir kid. I did not have the theater background that everyone seems to have, like most of the table. The theater kids in our school were jerks.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm not dealing with this drama. I have enough in choir. Yeah. So I was like, okay. Then I decided, well, UNC's closed. They have production. Maybe I'll get behind the scenes, and then they'll hear me go, oh, you sound so great. Come voice this. So yeah, they weren't hiring production at that time. They started great, like getting people out of the office for that. But I actually had my first audition 2 weeks after I graduated college. I made my demo reel based on the projects that I did in the RTF department at UNC. Organizing things just in case, so I now have my own studio I can do online work from. But yeah, I made a demo reel. It was an open audition. I sent the email because it was for talent only. I'm like, please, I'm sorry, I don't have an agent. I just need to make this. And they're like, okay, come on in. And that was 2.5 years ago. So, it's good. I love it.
Next question.
Alright, so how do you know if you have a good voice if you've never like really done any voice acting before and you kind of are clueless about the whole thing? Like how do you tell if you have a good voice or not?
All voices are good.
Is that the answer?
Well,
Yeah, kind of.
I'll say that you can learn any skill, and the human voice starts out when a baby is born. A baby can cry at the top of its lungs for like 6 hours straight. I know because I have 6 kids. So they can cry for a long time. That's because the human voice, when it's born, is natural and beautiful, and it's only stress and like deprecation, looking at yourself poorly. But once you get used to your voice, then you can start playing with it. Lift it up, put it down, start imitating something. Like, people will ask me to do Yoda, and they're like, do you do a Yoda voice? And I'm like, no, but I do his brother, Billy Yoda. Hi, I am Billy Yoda. You know, so like, you can take any voice you want to do and just play with it and twist it and make it into something that's your own. That's the best place to start.
And I can prove that by doing this. And I don't have anything in my hand, I promise. Just like this.
Oh, I see your bicycle hard when you want to hear it.
The male version. Oh. Like that? Oh. I would say the same thing that you said. Like, I think as long as you don't have that, I am the best I can be already. As long as you can take direction, because it should be actor voice. And then you have to act before you can be able to do a voice and take direction. Because that's the last thing anyone's going to work with, especially if someone who won't. But could you try it up a notch? Nah, I don't think so, because I did it perfectly the first time. You know, just be malleable. Be plain. Be visible. Be maneuverable. I don't know.
Oh, snap.
Squishy. Yeah, I would say the most important thing you can do is actually be able to act. I can talk, most of the voices I do sound just like this. Very rarely do I do that whole, oh my god, how are you today?
they rarely ask me to do that. So it's not so much whether you can do a wide range of voices, so I'm told. Like I said, only 6 months in here. But I would say the ability to act is more important than what your voice actually sounds like. I have a friend, Brian Massey, who talks like this. And he gets lots of roles.
I'm going to jump in here for a second and kind of touch on what she was talking about. The most important thing, if you're looking at just voice acting in general, a lot of people go in wanting to do a voice that they really can't do. Like, I'm going to be the lead and I'm going to sound like Trunks, whatever kind of doucher is on Dragon Ball Z or whatever. And they go into audition, and I know you've directed Chuck and stuff, and they do this voice, but it doesn't fit them at all, and they don't do it well versus a voice that they could do much, much, much better. So to try to make this long story as short as possible,
No, keep going.
know your role is how I put it. Like, I will never be the high-pitched hero. I'll never be the media voice
Do
hero.
your high-pitched hero.
I don't do it.
No, do it.
No.
Do mine. Mine's horrible too.
Okay, go. I'm the hero of this show. Hi, I'm Eric Beale, and I've been auditioning for another show. It's like, it's never going to happen.
Hi, I'm Ted Mignana.
Exactly.
My name's Con Hammer. I can't do it.
Right, exactly. You don't want to do it, because there's only one Todd Abercorn Bigman, thank God.
That was a Haberfell.
Right.
Hashtag Haberfell.
But I can go and be loud and growly and die well, and that's what I've been doing for 14 years now. So I will never read for a part that, you know, the side looks like this guy. No, I mean, because I'll never be able to voice match it. So know what you can voice match to and do well versus trying to stretch it. Some people can, but I'll tell you where the money is long-term wise is crack cocaine. Figure out how to base it yourself and cut the middle guy out, basically. But know what you can do with your voice before you even go into an audition. Because that way you're going to have a much more, even if you don't get the part, you'll still have a good audition experience to where you did as much as you could with what you can do instead of trying to do 10 different things.
I feel like that was just a Buddhist statement that I'm not understanding.
Which is crazy because I'm an atheist. I'm not.
That takes some serious faith.
Sorry, just crashing the panel. Sorry.
So much.
Next question, I'll do the rest of the
Oh, you're doing question running.
Oh, I get dibs on the next question running.
Can I not? Yes, get up.
You asked a question.
You lost.
My question is this what all of you wanted to do? Oh.
Yes. Don't touch the mic.
I wasn't touching the mic. Is this what you started out doing? You said that when you graduated you got called.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to do since like forever. So
There was no other dream or aspiration that you really wanted to try.
singing basketball player.
Oh, please do that. That's my question. Aside from things like mermaid princess, like every 5-year-old wants to be, I just knew I liked being over the top, which is my personality. So then I get to high school and it didn't fit in with anyone. I was bullied and had no friends, so I kept my anime to myself. And then I get into college and it was like, people in theater are so nice to me. Oh my god. But I just touched a girl. I was gonna pull that joke. Originally, I was like, okay, I like NCIS. I'm going to be a forensics person. I love NCIS, blah, 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 blah. And I was honestly going for that. And then I get to college, and then I found all these friends in the theater department. I got to play a man in Henry V. And that's when I was like, you know, I'm going to go for Broadway. I'm going to go for the big time. And then halfway through it, I was just like, you know what? I really like cartoons. Like, way too. I thought one day I was going to grow up and be like, yeah, I'm going to have a cup of coffee and open up a newspaper and watch the news. It's never happened, and I don't think it ever will. And I was like, you know what? I love cartoons so much. I like talking to children. I want to, so along the way, I really want to work in children's cartoons, making it and creating it for people. So this is hopefully my step up, but it's not originally what I wanted, but I'm very happy to be here.
I wanted to be a comic book artist. And that's actually working out really well for me. So I'll just keep doing that. The voice acting thing was just like I like acting, and I started getting invited to conventions for my comic books. So I already have a fan base for my comics, and now I can just kind of add in the voice acting stuff on top of it. It's like cherry on ice cream or something sweet. I don't know, I'm diabetic. I don't eat sweet things. But something that you people would eat, it's like that.
You people.
For me, it's like, I don't know, cheese on top of a cracker.
Apparently diabetics can't eat anything fun.
We don't get to eat fun things if we went to the, but yeah, so.
I want to keep on weeds.
I want my feet and my kidneys. I don't want to go blind. So, but yeah, so I just started meeting other voice actors, and a lot of them are also artists too. Like Sunny Straight's an artist too, and we would talk over our art, and he was like, "Oh, you should try out for Funimation." And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Why not?" And so yeah, the voice actors came with it. And I love it. And now I'm so addicted to it. Like I'm just like, I love more. So it's like
Crack cocaine. When I was 2 years old, my family had a diabetic cat. To bring it back to diabetes. Right. My family had a diabetic cat, and the cat used to throw up all the time, because that's what diabetic cats do, apparently.
I do a great cat throwing up noise.
But when I was 2, I learned how to mimic the throwing up cat, and I used to do it with my mom. So I used to do it in funk to my mom. So like my mom would come running in to make sure the cat was on a rug, and then I would just laugh. Like, and even as like a 2-year-old, I was just a pain in the butt. And
I can see that.
so yeah, right. You've known me for like 2 hours. But like I actually always wanted to be like a director when I was a kid, and then like so I went to college for film production and directing and stuff like that. And what? No, not how to
throw up in college.
But
really well.
But it was funny because there was this one day I was home from college, and my dad said to me as I'm sitting there eating cereal, he's like, I always thought it was weird that you'd go into film direction because you've always just liked cartoons. I always thought you'd do something for cartoons, and it was like that moment where I was like, oh, I messed up. And so then it was like, all right, I guess I'll start pursuing voiceover because I always really liked it, and I don't have the patience to draw animation at all. So that was voiceover sort of was always my dream. It just sort of like took me my whole life to realize it. So
I was just talking about this actually in our panel, and then over here. I didn't even know what anime was when I got my first part. I was a fireman. Firefighter, thank you.
I'm taking a test. I'm trying to find out this Monday if I get to be a firefighter.
Oh, where at?
I'm in Heat. I took the first test last weekend, and I'm about to take the agility test next
Good
month.
luck to the sister.
Yes, how fast can I text?
Please, agility test, please. Yeah. But, so I was doing that. I'd acted before. I moved here from California. I did a little theater, whatever. Met the same guy. I was just talking about this because I knew the same people Chuck did when he got into it. Didn't know Chuck, though. Went to audition. The rest is history. And that was in 2000. And then, so I've been doing it ever since. But I never even... the day I found out I got the part of Dragon Ball Z, you were there? We were androids together. Androids in Dragon Ball Z. And
I was smart android, he was stupid android.
Right. I was the awesome android, and he was kind of the bitchy queen.
I did think androids, like I walked into the booth the first time, I was like, who's that? She's totally hot.
Right.
That's your character.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Who's that chick? I mean, she's kind of hot. Is she an android? It's like, that's Chuck Huber, and it's android. Oh. I need a shower. I'm going to try and get a shower. So anyway, that was my experience with it, and I've just been doing it ever since, kind of thing. But I was in paramedic class the day I got the part, notice I got the part, and I was like, I don't know what anime is, I don't know what Dragon Ball Z is, it's this show, I'm doing thing, whatever, and there was somebody sitting in front of me who did, and she was like, all freaky. I was like, so it's a thing, I guess. No.
Yeah, I set off to just be an actor. I always knew I wanted to be an actor. I went to school at the conservatory, the theater school at DePaul University, where they act you from like 8 in the morning until 11 at night for 4 years. We had a whole class on breathing for a year. That's all we did was breathe. We learned how to juggle in sword fights. It was really, and then every Tuesday and Thursday we had to take our academic class. Because they're actors, so they made the academic classes really stupid for us. Jeremy and whenever. But so I've always just been an actor, and I'm a filmmaker. I make movies, and I also bake bread.
Do you make banana bread?
Yes, I make a fantastic banana bread.
Sugar-free banana
With
bread.
frosting.
Alright, questions?
I'll be full up your jacket as well. I'm ready.
I don't mean to single anyone out because I'm like huge fans of everyone, especially Chuck, but this is actually for Whitney.
Whoa! Question for Whitney.
Step back. What is this now?
I was just wondering how, like, your experience as far as, how you didn't look at any major voice roles. I was wondering how it was to go into something that's really big, especially in like Otaku fandom right now, as such a big show and such a main role. How did that was the transition for you?
I had only done my first show ever was Dead in Wonderland, and at first I didn't know a cuss word, and when I auditioned for that, I knew 4. I knew 4 words, and now my language is really, really bad. So I'm used to going in and just being in a group with 4 or 5 other girls and talking all at the same time. So going from that was, because I'm already used to, I'm on the stage and I know how to project my, oh God, okay, sorry, I'm being too loud. And so that was already getting used to, kind of hard, and I'm used to talking with my hands and accidentally hitting the mic. So I came in, I auditioned, I actually thought, crap, I did such a bad job. I think I did okay for that pervert character though. I went home and I was like, that'd be so funny if my mom saw that. And then I get a text message and it's like, hey, but you have to come in for, and it was like a large amount of hours. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I was with my boyfriend at the time. I was like, oh my God, I think I really got a part. So I was really, I didn't even know what it was. I showed up and then it was the character I thought I did the absolute worst off because it was more than 2 hours. I was like, okay, maybe it's really a big part. I don't know. And it was really exciting and very intimidating. Because at least with other girls in the booth, I can be like, I'm just going to copy that. It's good. And here, I'm all, And so at first, hey, Walla, I was just like, darn, look at me. But at the same time, you don't know what's going on. You're just like, I'm going to copy their energy. So it was weird. I was one-on-one. I didn't know anything about the show whatsoever. And then I felt it was really hard. Yozora talks like this and is really just not enthused about anything I do. And as a person, I am just, hello, I'm Whitney, blah, blah, blah. So that was really hard to rein it in and sit down and be quiet and just, okay, I'm going to be really negative right now. It was really, if I'm not answering your question, stop me and let me know. I'm really bad about answering everything but the question. So it was really, I had to most people have to get up into energy before they get there and record. Me, I had to sit there in my car, in the parking lot, and calm down. Okay, now I'm going to go inside and I'm going to go Yozora. Like, I had to calm myself down because it was too much for the character. It was almost a little annoying at first. It was like, are you sure? So you want to do that flat? Okay. Flatter? Okay, how's this? More? Okay, all right. Cool, we'll keep this. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how big it was in Japan, and when it actually was first released, I was just like, it's released! And then I had to go to so many conventions, nobody knew about it, and only until recently am I really getting to know today how much people like it, because, Yozora's a jerk. Everyone likes Senna, and everyone likes Senna shipped with Kobuto, so I'm still getting used to it. I don't really know what it's like, and I'm actually wanting to be like, can I have your autograph? I don't care, you're a fan. Give me a picture with you, man. So, does that answer Okay, yeah. Let's go. Move on.
Next question.
I'm good at this. Kristen's like, I'm doing this question.
Hi guys. So I just moved voice acting. Just moved here from Orlando to here. And thank you. And my focus has kind of been instead like trying to get into an agency and then from an agency going into. But would you recommend as well as doing that, trying these open auditions as well, or focus mainly on honing on your craft, getting into an agency, and then through the agency really focusing on? I'm going to start this way because I've just been going through the situation. Okay. Are you looking to just do voice acting? Let me ask you that. You can just.
You mean like as a career, like voice
Yeah. Are you interested in other acting or just voice acting?
acting? Yeah.
No.
I mean,
the agency's not going to work.
really?
Yeah. I've just been doing the same thing. My major thing is voice acting. They're all telling me you have to be on camera. Here in Texas, you have to be multifaceted on the acting side. So I've honestly just been turned down from at least one voice agency, or excuse me, talent agency, and I haven't heard from the other 12 I applied for. So, but I've been okay with that. I mean, I go on sites like Voice123 or Voices.com, whichever one you prefer. Those do cost money, but once you've gotten it developed, you can actually get some nice paying jobs. And there's other places like we were talking, she mentioned Craigslist, there's some other sites. But
Careful on Craigslist. For
yeah,
real.
I mean, you've got to start taking some classes. Look at like stage.org for here. That's a place that has some classes you can take. But if you were just voice acting, good luck with an agent.
But I think something else though is you were saying about honing your craft and then doing one or doing the other. Regardless, honing your craft is your first step.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go into one or the other until you have gotten to a point that you're comfortable. And like, you can take criticism and you can take rejection, and you know but you know that you have the talent and can exist in that. You know, and you have the confidence. You know, so definitely start with honing the craft. No matter what you decide to do.
And the fact that you're asking that question even just shows you're already leaps and bounds ahead. A lot of people are just like, how do I be a star? Yeah, that's what everyone wants to be. And a lot of times you don't know where to look. If you, like I did, I looked on Funimation because I was like, well, I think it's small town, isn't it? And I found it in the frequently asked questions. I don't think the link is there on the website anymore. But if you find other locations, like if you were into modeling, there are swimsuit websites for like bikini competition stuff, and they'll actually have casting calls on their small time things. Usually those are in Florida. So if you find small town places like Funimation is exactly small time, it's in Flower Mound, Texas, you can always look on their website and see if they do, or maybe shoot them an email and ask. Because I know a lot of modeling places like that do that. Funimation did that. So just look, it's hard, and be careful when you pay for things. The stuff that she listed are great, but there's also, don't let anyone be like, give me money first and then I'll get you a job.
Yeah, you only pay if you get a job with them.
They get paid from the money you just got.
Yeah.
But stuff like Voices123, you do have to pay like a membership, but then it's up to you to keep auditioning. So, yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully I'm not just repeating what they say. All right.
And to be fair, I got into it without, representation,
Yeah.
but I really feel like I lucked out. And even though I'm in it, like I feel there's so much more I could do to be better. So even once you get in, I think if you still want to grow, there's lots of opportunities to grow. Don't be like, oh, I'm in, I must be good, because I want to stay good. I don't want to stay good, I want to be better. So, thankfully there's lots of places in Dallas where you can hone your craft and continue, like you said, like Chris said, continue to hone your craft, and that will help you in regular acting or voice acting. I'm not trying to be negative, I promise. It's just, I only just started looking for an agent. I wanted to make sure that I actually had something behind me at first, so I did feel comfortable with what I was doing, and to really make sure that is what I wanted to do. So, no, if that's what you want to do, though, good luck. Definitely keep your head up.
And if it takes a little while, if you get a job and it takes a little while, don't panic. And then me and Kristen are mostly friends from, we call each other on the phone and go, oh my God, I haven't been in Funimation in 2 months. They hate me. They hate us. What did we do? jobs are few and far between, so just no matter how many times you get rejected, just be like, I'm a duck, and it's just gonna roll right off my back. Just a drop of water on a duck's back. You just gotta, no matter what anyone else says, just have faith in yourself. Which is easy to get down on yourself, and I'm the worst about going, I'm horrible, I suck, on my spare time. So just be confident no matter what people tell you. If that's helpful.
Chuck, we haven't heard from you.
What was the question?
Agents.
Agents.
Chemical agents.
You got chemical agents like bleach, that'll make your clothes white. I don't have an agent anymore. I had an agent for years, and then I dropped my agent. I was bringing more work to my agency than the agency was giving me, so I was like, I can do this on my own. So, yeah, I do it on my own. I have a lot of producer friends. I do a lot of film work and stage work. I love Shakespeare. It's typically where I feel happiest.
Do you bite your thumb, sir?
I bite my thumb at you.
Oh, well then.
Stuff on your house.
Next question.
Not everybody all at once. I'm just joking. It was a joke. Keep going.
No one's gonna ask one.
All right.
So, you've been talking about like how...
Whoa. Do not touch this microphone.
Oh, dude. Hands are tied.
So, like...
I didn't do anything! But it's like, you talk about like voice acting, and you know, like, if you're into it, it's nice. But personally, would you all recommend having like a job as backup?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Unless you like living the hobo life, which he does.
4 out of 5 voice actors agree.
When I interview for jobs, I'm always like, well, they're like, do you have any hobbies? I'm like, my hobby is my job, but it happens so infrequently that it is my hobby.
Yeah.
So my job is my hobby. So I have to have a real job to support my hobby job.
Yeah, I haven't had to do it in 6 or 7 years, but I have lots of other skills that I can provide towards empty holes in my budget. Wow, there's nothing happening in March. I'm going to be starving. So many innuendo. And I can do innuendo and out the other. I don't know what that means. But yeah, it's good to have a job.
And you have lots of people that are like, but this will just get your name out in the world. Don't fall for those liars. And they sound just like that. And they're trying to get your work for free by going, well, I'm just helping you. You give me this commercial and all this work for free, and I will just get your name out. Really? Mom and
How
pop
many commercials
shop.
have credits at the end of it?
Exposure is not a form of payment, people.
It helps, and that's your discretion, but don't let them lying scumbags tell you otherwise.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. They make me,
Here, would you like to be a model for this, but we won't pay you, but you get a free spray tan.
I do that look like I pull off a spray tan. I look like an Oompa Loompa, and I'm going to stop now.
As an artist, I get a lot of the, if you illustrate my entire comic book, I can't pay you, but you'll eventually get paid when I sell it to a publisher. Well,
You know my house I live in, I'll just tell people you
that's great. I'm sure that'll pay my bills right now. Not. So, yeah, I actually have a marketing job. I work from home part-time, and I do that, and then I draw comics and sell them, and then I voice act whenever Funimation feels the need to have me in. So, that part-time job, it keeps me from worrying about when there's not work.
Yeah, as depressing as it is, yes, we need real jobs.
It's not as glorious as it seems.
I'm going to take the next question.
Go, Cliff, go.
Go, Cliff, go! Go, Cliff, go! Go, Cliff, go! Go, Cliff, go!
We're not on the same song at all.
Writing off his question, how would you balance a part-time job with voice acting? Because don't you have to be ready at the drop of a hat?
Yeah, typically you have to have a job that's either disposable or very flexible. Like it's going to be like a job you're like, screw you, job!
I can get another one.
Or you have to have a job where you're the boss, like I did construction, and so like I could be working, redoing someone's tile in their bathroom and then get an audition, call for an audition, and then like, take the day off, Chuck. Okay, thanks, Chuck. Yeah.
So I work from home, which is really helpful, because I'm just like, I'll do my work later. I'm running for an audition right now.
There's been so many times when and been like, please, I will wash your car, just cover my shift. Or I used to work at a moving company, and I was kind of needed a lot, but thankfully, real long story short, my boss is a pervert, and I worked there 9 months before I left because he's a pervert. I got hired a week after he got divorced. Did not know that until about 9 months later. Thankfully, he liked me and thought I was cute, so I would be like, hey, I need to have this week off to do something. Can I go? And he'd be like, yeah, anything for you. And then he would take all the flack for it. And I was like, yes. And I kind of played it up a little bit. I got a few extra days off because I'm a bad person. But yeah, it's I always try to tell my jobs up front, and a lot of times they're like, oh, well, that's nice, cartoon voices, all right. I don't understand that at all. All I know is that means you're unemployed usually, and all my money goes to support you, Wick, and stuff and things. And usually, if they either have no idea what I'm doing and just ignore it, or they're like, oh, so you're where my tax dollars go when you don't work. I know, I get fiery. I should have been here.
Did you not eat enough lunch? Whitney, did you not eat enough lunch?
Huh?
Did you not eat enough lunch?
I can have fudge.
Did you not eat enough lunch?
Somebody needs to. Oh no, I just get really excitable when I think
You
about
seem a little grumpy.
Into the afternoon, is it time to light
nap
after your
time.
nap?
Yeah. At my job, at one point, especially with Funimation, I can call up the sound recorder and go, hey, you only have Wednesdays since I don't get as much, right, since it's a slow period right now, schedule everything on these days. And then I go to my part-time and go, hey, you don't have this day. I'm sorry, but this is my appointed day off. Sometimes they go, what? And then they finally realize I was serious. They went, okay. Because I worked like Christmas 2 years in a row in a shop, and they're like, oh, you're really serious about the cartoon stuff? Hey, I guess. And now I'm full-time with that company in a different position, and I said, look, I do this. I'm serious. They went, okay, well, if you need it, I guess you can take off during lunch and an extra hour, but you have to do it during this time. So it's like, okay. So I actually did the other day. I was gone for like 3 hours from work, but I answer emails, so it's like, it takes me 5 minutes to catch up.
Okay, I guess I'm the only one that has an answer. Well, my whole situation worked out. It's a mesh of all this, but I actually worked for my family, you know, and it was the whole reason I moved here was to pursue voiceover. And I had this family member that runs a company, and he was like, oh, I can give you a job and like a place to live and stuff. And I was like, that's fantastic. And so I work full time. I don't live with him anymore. I have my own place now. But
So he's saying, ladies, he has his own place.
So I work full time, but it is one of those situations where it's like, hey, I got a session. I'll be in after that. And then they're like, okay, whatever. I'm like, cool. So, yes, but having a job and everything is important, and but the flexibility is key. Because if you don't have that, they're going to be like, all right, well, you're fired. And you're going to be like, I'm hungry.
Hello, Transportation Center.
Next question! We're coming,
Hey, no one's asked me to.
Okay, so what types of things do they ask you to do in a voiceover audition?
Read lines.
When I first auditioned, they actually have, I don't know what it's like to do a show that's not already animated. When you go in, they'll have a big square screen and then a rectangular one, actually the script, and here you see a TV show. If you do an open audition, you're not going to be seeing the TV show. You're going to just be having maybe a folder full of several lines and different characters, and you pick the ones you feel like you best represent, or usually I'm like, what do you want? You've heard me before, what do you want me to do? And so they'll walk you through it. They'll be like, slate your name, which for me would be like, Whitney Rogers, whatever the hell character I'm about to read. Usually it's not the title. And then I would go ahead and do it, and you do it all, even if you mess up, just kind of take a breath. And so, I'm saying the line, crap, I messed up. I'm saying the line, okay, now I got it done. That way you don't go, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, because that makes you look unprofessional and makes things move smoother. You'll also sometimes they'll be like, read that a little faster. Or once I went in and there was a slot, and I was just like, and there was no lines. It was just angry reactions, scared reactions. And I looked at, I think it was, who was it? Was it Zach? I think it was Zach. I looked at him, I was like, so I actually just watched a video about Fox today. Apparently it's really funny. But they didn't make a noise as far as I was, so do you have any suggestions? He was like, I don't know, make something like, and I was like, I was like, and there's a big window, and I'm going, and I'm looking out the window, and he's just like, sounded good to me. That's the craziest thing I've done, but usually it's pretty straightforward. Nothing, they're not, I've never really had, other than my open audition, them to go, anything else you want to add? And I was so scared and happy and joyous to be there, I forgot to do the bicycle horn. But so, yeah, I haven't had anything extreme, so I'm going to let someone else go now, but talk so much.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Next question. We've answered that question expertly.
Yes. Next question.
One more question. Random technical thing, but when you're asked to do a scream, would you take a step back, or would that pick up like the sound in the room, so you'd want to go up closer to the mic and do kind of a controlled like, no? Or would you actually step back and full voice, no? We don't even step back.
They do wooga wooga with the...
So you don't have to like control it, so you like make it sound.
Just let them know before you do it, so they have time to turn the sound down. Don't just be like, scream up, I'm going to
They usually know though, because it's in the
Yeah,
script.
they're usually aware.
Yeah, that's why you're not just gonna randomly go up and be like,
Like on these cuts, yeah, you have to pull it back.
Yeah.
But for them, it's just yeah.
They have it all controlled.
Yeah.
But I've always been told if you're gonna scream like you mean it.
Yeah.
If I go to Joel, I'm like, and he's like, that's weak. He's like, scare me, and then I have to scream really loud like a girl. So.
And then when you hit it, Joel's like, rock.
Yeah. Be careful when you practice at home alone in your apartment, though. I think my neighbor's son was killed. So be careful with that.
I think that tall gentleman in the back had a question. Do you have a question? No? I thought I saw you raise your hand. Just make up one. Make up one now.
Fine. Do you have a question? All right, what's your question?
I'm coming. Hurry, Captain, hurry.
Go.
He's like, no, girl, you can come to me.
Sonic. Thanks for making me run over here.
When it comes to emotions through voice acting, does it like when you get to like cry on cue or get angry or sad like that? How does that work?
You just dig deep into all your emotional damage and baggage.
We ran out of milk this morning. True life, every day. First
You
one.
run out of milk every day?
I drink a lot of milk.
Okay.
But I look like a strong girl, I'm gonna be a fireman, okay? This is on the man.
It's gonna take more than milk.
I actually read that you should like write down certain things that make you feel certain ways and just kind of keep like a journal about it so you can access it when you need to.
I usually do things like I think about when my grandmother passed away, when the love of my life dumped me. I think of things like that to kind of achieve it if I need it. I don't, there's no tears on a microphone, so you don't have to worry about that.
I go with Surrey and McKellen's advice, which is you simply act it. You pretend like you're the character crying, and then they give you lines, and you read them like you're crying, and then you're done.
So.
Do you have time for another question?
Yeah, next
You got a
question.
hand up.
I got it. I'll get this. Oh God! Oh God! Yes. You may touch the mic.
Whoa! First one.
Just one more question. You're doing actual dubbing. Is there any significance trying to match the original Japanese Seiyu or voice actor, or is it just kind of on your own? You just make up whatever comes naturally to y'all. I mean, Vic Mignogna, for example, Romy Park is a Seiyu for Edward in Japan, but he's like, no, I just kind of went off on my own thing when he did it. What would y'all have to say about that?
I'm too terrified to try anything of my own because I'm so new.
I do whatever the director tells me to, Joe Sargent.
Yes.
Yeah, I always look for the Japanese, because the Japanese actors sort of have the first take on the character, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't translate emotionally from the Japanese culture to the American culture, and we're doing it for American audiences. So I always try to listen real close to what the Japanese actor has done, and then do my impression of that. I sort of listen to what the emotional tone is, and most of the directors, especially if it's a big property like Attack on Titan or you know, one of the other huge properties, they want it to be very much faithful to what the original Japanese was. So it depends on the director, depends on the property. But yeah, I always use that as my reference.
I actually, for one audition, had to mimic the Japanese. Not very often, though.
I haven't had a lot of auditions where they've played me the Japanese beforehand, so I don't know what they sound like most of the time. And yeah, it's only happened to me like one time. And I mean, like, if you go and watch Good Luck Girl or Robotics Notes, I mean, my character is just my voice. It's literally just my voice. But I recently just did a character that I can't talk about. That I actually, it's again just my voice, but I sound really close to the Japanese voice anyway. So, I mean, with that, my whole thing is I focus more on like, this is what the Seiyu did, and this is their performance, and like, this is their emotion, and then I kind of just try and do that. But as far as the voice goes, I've never really had to worry about like, at least I haven't done it yet, that I worry about if it sounds just like the Japanese voice.
And to be fair, the director's there to help you. I mean, they want you to succeed as much as you want to succeed. So, you know, I can do a voice and be like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that's great. She's like 15, so you can sound younger. Someone's like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you what they want you to do with it. Either you're going to match their idea or you're not. And it's nothing personal if you don't. You're just not what they want.
I honestly don't feel that talented. I stand in a dark room speaking to a microphone. If you want to congratulate someone, congratulate the director, because I just did what he told me to. So, that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you like me in my show, but really, the real hero is whoever directed it, because they told me what to do every step of the way.
Do we have time for
One more question.
What? He doesn't like you right now, and he's going to come crush you.
I told you I was going to try to embarrass you.
It didn't work.
Now I've done it. What's your question?
Okay, in the past you said that for Yu Yu Hakusho you originally auditioned for Yusuke, but how did you end up doing it?
Oh, I can hear you. You don't need that.
I'm here now. It's happening.
In the past you said that for Yu Yu Hakusho that you originally auditioned for Yusuke. How did you end up doing Hiei?
Yeah, well, I wanted Yusuke because, you know, he seemed like the lead, and that meant more lines, which means I spent more time in the booth. But then I got EA, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do that one too. But, yeah, my Yusuke voice was horrible. Spirit gun! It's crappy, man. So, but EA's a lot of fun.
Sometimes you get those roles you don't expect. Sometimes you do get those roles that you just feel like, this is something like, oh, I don't want it, and then like the best ones. I mean, Misato from Megata H.K., I didn't audition for her. She wasn't even in the roster for the auditions, and she's one of my favorite ones because I swear they stalked me writing it. It's like not even funny how close.
I'm usually just happy if I get a part.
I'm usually just happy if I get a part.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I'm like, oh my god, I got a part. That's the money.
That's our last question. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.